Today on SmackDown Cooking, we're going to be making Shane McMahon's broiled SmackDown scampi and The Rock's smackaroni salad.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Ha! Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Ha!
We're going to start with The Rock's smackaroni salad. This recipe is pretty simple, but it does require you to refrigerate everything, so we're going to go ahead and do this first. Now all you're going to need for this recipe is 1 pound of elbow macaroni, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, half an onion, 3 celery stalks, and 1 carrot. Now, while the water comes to a boil, I'm going to show you how to prepare the vegetables. Now this recipe only calls for half an onion, so we're going to go ahead and cut this onion right in half. Now save the other half of that onion for the scampi that we're going to be making. Then, you're going to want to peel your carrot. Nothing fancy here. Just peeling. Now some people ask me, why do I have to peel all the carrots? You know, you don't have to, but as carrots are root tubing vegetables, they grow in the ground in the dirt. And you can see, and often you can taste, the dirt in the carrot. A lot of it is kept here, so we peel it to get a better taste. You can keep the skin on. It's perfectly fine, perfectly edible. Now, this recipe is calling us to shred our carrots, so we're going to go ahead and do that with just a simple cheese grater. Now you want to have consistent pressure, but not too much where you're making juice out of the carrot. But you want consistent length and consistency in the carrot.
The Rock says, know your damn role. You smell what The Rock is cooking?
That's about good. Go ahead and collect all of that. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mince our celery. I've already gone ahead and washed it. We're going to split it down the middle. And this recipe calls for finely chopped. So, we go ahead and remove those ends there. And I'm going to go ahead and just chop this, mince it down, whatever consistency and thickness you prefer. If you prefer a larger celery, go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over it one more time.
The Rock says, know your damn role. Know your role, shut your mouth.
Now you're going to go ahead and collect all of this too, to add to the salad later. Now some people ask about the ends here. Perfectly edible, perfectly fine to throw ahead and put it in there. I'm not going to. Now you're going to want to mince half an onion. Now to take these off, if you're really good, and if your knife is sharp, you can kind of get the start of the peel going like that, versus picking in there with your nails. And then you can just peel that off. Now for this, I haven't cut off the end here yet because I want that to hold the onion together for me. What I am going to do is I'm going to go in here, I'm going to make cuts, not all the way through.
Rock's laying the smackdown.
Now when you go ahead and cut this, you're getting minced onion.
The Rock's laying the smackdown. The Rock says, the Rock says, the Rock says, the Rock says.
Now again, save this onion because we're going to need it for the scampi. Now I'm going to go ahead and mince this up just a little bit more so it mixes up in our salad real nice.
Know your role and shut your mouth. The Rock says, know your damn.
Now it looks like our water's boiling, so let's go ahead and add the pasta. Now as our water comes to boil, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of cooking oil. This is going to help the pasta cook a little better and not to stick so much to the bottom of the pan and stuff like that. It's really helpful. Then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt, perhaps a tablespoon or so, and add your pasta. Now just follow the directions on your bag for the pasta on how long it takes to cook. This one here says it'll be done in 9 to 11 minutes, so I'm going to give it 11 minutes. Now every minute or so you're going to want to come in and just stir the pasta. Make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. Let it boil. Now once your pasta's done boiling, go ahead and strain it and run it under some cold water before you add all your other ingredients to it. Now once you have all your ingredients ready, go ahead and add them into a large mixing bowl. I learned that it's best to do this all a little bit at a time. Don't go and put everything in there at once. You want to just put a little bit of the pasta in there. Go ahead and add a little bit of the carrots. And a little bit of the celery. Now this is going to help when you mix everything together. Don't forget the onions. Because your macaronis are going to be very fragile. And you're not going to want to disturb them too much by mixing it around. And then go ahead and repeat the process until everything's in the bowl.
You smell what the Rock is cooking? The Rock says. 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 just know your damn role. Know your role and shut your mouth.
And there it is, The Rock's Smackaroonie Salad. Looks pretty good. I threw those celery tops back in there, as well as some other decorative touches. Now, we're going to put this in the refrigerator to cool for a bit longer, and then it's ready to serve. Now, all we're going to need to make Shane McMahon's broiled smackdown scampi is 2 pounds of shrimp, olive oil, butter, onion, paprika, scallops, garlic, and fresh chives. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is mince all your ingredients. You might be tempted to put your garlic in something like this, but I advise you not to. These things kind of just mash and smash everything, and your oils and everything come out, and they don't get put into the cooking process. So I recommend that you just mince it old-fashioned, but if you really want a tip, is to use one of these. You can take the peeler and go ahead and peel that garlic. And then go ahead and mince that up to get it real fine. Now I've learned that this really gives you a better flavor, and it's not hard to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and take care of all these ingredients.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money,
Dollar, 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 ching, ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching.
Now many of you might be wondering what a shallot is, and well, this is them. They're kind of like an onion. They're small, and if you have trouble finding them, just ask somebody that works at the grocery store. Now we're just gonna mince this as well. And I really recommend getting the shallots. You might ask, can I get away with just onions? You can, if you want to make, you know, any ordinary scampi, but we're making the Shane McMahon broiled smackdown scampi. And if you want that, you're gonna have to get shallots.
Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, dollar, can a damn soul stop it.
Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold on your bets, here's where the buck stops. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time I elevated to claim my own throne.
Now the recipe is asking for 1 tablespoon of garlic, shallots, and onion, and 2 tablespoons of freshly minced chives.
Success in my blood, call it homegrown. Puerto Rican testosterone. Power and money got me crazy cocky. No longer need.
And there we have it. So the recipe calls for 2 pounds of peeled and deveined shrimp. I've purchased shrimp with the shell still on it, and I'm going to show you how to peel them. You just grab right here, pull that part off, and the bottom part off, and there you go. It's not that hard. Once you get the hang of it, you can probably get the whole thing off in one motion. But there you go. Now I have a lemon here because the lemon is a little trick. The shrimp would be a little slimy, a little slippery. You dip your hand in the lemon, not too much, and it kind of helps you to grab onto the shrimp. You're able to peel them a little easier without them slipping around so much.
I know you're mad because you can't stop me. And if you wonder how this player done scooped your honey, I think she smell my cologne, it's called brand new money. Making major moves, man, ain't a damn thing funny. Pimpin' hood rats to Playboy.
You just grab the shrimp, pull on one half, and the top kind of comes off. And then there's a bottom half, and that kind of just snaps right off.
They see the. They
see it, they see it.
Now I'm going to show you how to devein these. You just want to stick the knife right along where the vein is in the shrimp and just cut it. Then you can pull that little vein right out. Now you might want to ask, do I need to devein all of them? And you don't need to, but if you want to make Shane McMahon's broiled smackdown scampi, you're going to need to take the veins out of all of them.
Say what? Money. I'm global dollar and roll with Val Fitty.
Now the recipe tells us to throw everything in together. That's 2 tablespoons of chives, 1 tablespoon of onion, 1 tablespoon of the shallots, 1 tablespoon of garlic, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 cup of olive oil, and 3/4 stick of butter. And it says to stir it all together.
Smelling fresh and looking spiffy. Don't like clean money.
You want to make sure that your butter is at room temperature.
So what am I supposed to do? Roll and do. Steady patting them pockets till I'm stacking.
Now the recipe says to salt it and a little bit of fresh pepper. Now once it's ready, go ahead and throw in the shrimp.
Ching, ching, bling, bling, catching cash in lump. It's a Coro, get a jacket, I'm selling them out my trunk. Whenever, whatever, it takes a shake.
Now I've got a baking sheet here for us, and we're going to go ahead and place the shrimp down on the baking sheet. I've placed down a parchment paper just to make cleanup a little easier.
Must go in that direction, wait a minute, holla, holla. All wants to know where they go, where they winning. A Mick and Marshall Monday smelling just like a mint.
Now we'll just put this in the broiler for 2 minutes and then flip each of them and cook it for another 2 minutes, and then they're done.
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking? Ha! Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?